You've made it. The world is quiet now, and it's just us. Welcome to the Savon Experience Pillow Talk Solo Edition, your safe space to reflect, exhale, and get real. I'm your host, Savon, and tonight we're diving deep. So get comfortable, take a breath, and let's talk.
That's what pillow talk is. Every week I'm pulling up with the real solo. No guests, no edits, just you, me, and the truth. So go ahead, get comfortable. You're tuned in into the Savon Experience. Pillow talk, solo edition. Let's talk.
Listen, honey, it is good to be back. How y'all doing? What's been going on? What's been going on? Are you doing great? It's been so much that's been going on in this world since I've been gone, girl. Since the last time we've spoken to each other on these virtual streets, girl, whether you are on the podcast or not, Lord Jesus, it's just so much that's going on. I have an idea. And I'm thinking that I am going to start recording the shows and just do like a live stream while I'm doing it so I can see the comments and stuff as I go along as I'm talking about it. But I don't know yet. I'm not trying to hold myself to that yet because I don't know. Because see, sometimes I have to get the recording in when I get it in, girl, and I can't be distracted by the comments. But I want to see what y'all got to say as I'm talking about some of these things. It's been a minute. I have been working on some renovations at the house that was needed due to an unfortunate event that had to happen, girl, where I had to come out of some coins, and I didn't want to come out them coins, girl. But listen, we had to pull and we had to do some things, girl, because the emergency was emergencying. Okay. But during this time that I was trying to get myself together and get the life back together and get the room back together, I discovered something. I was watching my last episode, y'all. I was talking about Laverne Cox, and I was talking about how people was treating her because who she was dating and all these other things. And lo and behold, I told y'all that I was not gonna be one of those bloggers, anything like that. This is not what this is about, and I'm not. But I did tell y'all as well, when things are put on my heart, honey, when something comes and just smacks me, in the face, girl, I gotta talk about it. So go grab your libation. Go get you something to drink on, some Kool-Aid, some tea, some coffee, girl, a shot of something, Crystal Light, whatever you need, because I am going to talk about some things tonight. And y'all know my space is my truth. And tonight we're going to call out a few things. We're going to call out some lies because while I was on this moment, this brief break, I was just seeing post after post. You know, Meg the Stallion is dating somebody new, and people feel like he's a good guy, and he's too good, and she's reckless, and she's this, and she's not the good girl, she's the bad girl, and she's a, thought because of her music and all that other stuff. So they felt like, oh my God, do he know? She had a gala that she paid for that she was putting on, and then all we saw online was just people talking about, oh my God, like she was inappropriate at her own shit. And I hope he know what he getting into. You can't bring everybody home. You can't take a blope into a housewife and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, where did he get this from? So I want to talk about the lies we were told about dating. I want to talk about the ones that we believed. I want to talk about how the ones that made us hate ourselves and how it was just misogynistic and the fairy tales of it all and how it just ain't true. And then how our hearts and minds don't align with that shit. Girl, respectability was a scam. It was a scam. They just told us some shit to try to make us conform so we can pick a certain type of life and a certain type of purpose. But then your heart don't always align with that particular person, the good girl. You know, the good girl, the bad girl. You can't make a hoe a housewife. You know what they say, all of that type of stuff. You bad dudes, you know what I'm saying? The bad boy, the good guy, the nice guy, and all these things and how you don't really want them. But why is it that every time that you meet the nice guy, the one that looks good on paper, the one you can take home to meme on them, granny, nana, family, mom, whoever, whatever you call your person, and when you bring them home, you know, it's cool, but you end up not really liking them because they too nice. They too respectable, girl. They too this, they too that. They not toxic enough, and y'all know I love me a good toxic trait. I should stop saying that. I really should stop saying that, but I'm not gonna stop saying it. I ain't, because it's the truth, and we talking about the truth. So I just felt like we was fed a bunch of lies growing up, and I want to get into it, and we want to talk about it. Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Laughter, bitch. That ain't an amen. What you laughing about? Y'all, this virtual. What y'all laughing about? Bitch, it's not that funny. It's not that funny. Oh. Because we know it's a lie. They laughing because it was a lie. You ain't believe that shit. I don't know if y'all recall, but I remember a time when they was talking about, you know, little boys. They was telling little boys that, you know, you gotta date somebody, the kind of woman or the kind of person that you can bring home into your family, that you can introduce them to, and this, that, and the other, and you know, who ain't ratchet, who ain't this, that, and the other. But then we're in this culture and trend right now that baby honey twerking and coochie popping on a handstand, like that's what it is, and that's who you bringing home. And your mama don't get along with the person because she don't like them. And some of y'all's mamas out there don't know that they are the mother and they're not the girlfriend. Baby, you can't date your son. You can't give him what she giving him. What I hope you ain't giving him what she giving him, because that. Okay. So why are they saying things like that about Meg? Like, you know, like she's not a good person, like she don't have a good heart, like she's an entertainer. Her job is one thing, and then who she is another. And we all have jobs that we do on a regular basis, but that doesn't mean that's who we are. It's what we do. It's not who we are, right? I know I was working with one of my mentors, and you know, she was an HR business partner, and I was like, girl, like how do you do this? Like, oh, like it's just so much. And she's like, baby, this is not who I am, this is what I do. So I think people need to separate the things and the personalities they see online, whether good or bad, and separate those things. So when you see people out, this whole good girl versus bad girl narrative, I feel like it's played out. We are in 2025. If he can do it, she can do it. If they can do it, we can do it. Like, I don't understand that. Oh my God, what's her body count? Like, how many people have she been with? Nigga, how many people have you been with? What's your body count? What's your body count? And as soon as you tell them, oh my God, you know, I've been with like 300 dudes. It's you've been with 600. Why is you? What is you upset about? It takes two to tango. So I hate when we were, you know, that the fact that we have this good girl versus bad girl narrative, that we were taught to pick a side, be sweet or be sexy, be modest or be messy. But why can't you be a good mixture of both? Because I feel like there are times that you need to be sweet, smart, demure, right? Reserved. You need to put on your librarian cloak. You get what I'm saying? There's times where you need to be a little bit sweet. You know, when you're going to church, you're sweet and dainty. You buttoned up. You know what I'm saying? You got the pearls on, girl. You got the earrings. You know, you're just giving real classy, real demure, real professional. And then there's moments where you need to be the vixen. You need to be sexy. you know. And it's so funny because people, your partner would like to see that sexy alone, but they don't like to see the sexy like out and about. But then if they cheat on you, girl, they're going to find the sexy. So I don't understand. Be modest or be messy. I think you need to be both. The good girl gets chosen, the bad girl gets used. And yet we see both end up getting hurt because the good girl's hurt because of the fact that she's doing all the right things. She's tending to the kids. She's making sure the house is clean. She's making sure that the food is cooked when he comes home, honey. She's, making sure she's catering to her man. And she's doing all the right things. And, she's if they are in a situation where both of them work, she's bringing her, she's bringing her half to the table or her percentage to the table, whatever they've agreed upon, and treating him with respect. And he's the king. You know what I'm saying? But then next thing you know, you turn around and like he done fucked around with somebody else, and it's the bad girl. It's the direct opposite of what he got at home. And I'm not just gonna say him. I'm gonna say her too, because she could have a good dude that's at home, that's respectful, that is very thoughtful, that is considerate, that does all the things, right? But he just too nice. Like he not an asshole enough. Like he don't like cuss me out. He don't like treat me like shit, girl. I need to be treated like shit a little bit just to really like him. So like I can't do it. Like I just know he just boring, girl. Like okay, so you like a little spice. That's okay. But I think we have that conflict amongst ourselves because we were taught to not like certain things. We were taught that certain things you shouldn't be with long term, or certain characteristics and or traits you shouldn't really, like to be with. So you have to hide it. It's much like the LGBTQ community when they like, the down low man, or they like trans, or whatever the case may be, right? But in the straight community, it's like, oh my God, you can't be a bad girl, or you can't be a good, you can't be that. You can't bring that home. My mama is not gonna like it. Your mama ain't got a vodka, so I don't understand. Hold on. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. At the end of the day, you're living your life, right? This is when you're grown and you're paying your own bills and you got your own space and you're doing all that. Like, it's time for you to do the things that make you happy in your life, the things that make you happy in your life. You can't live that life for other people who not paying your bills, and even if they are paying your bills and it's still in your house, like it's you. You have to be happy and at the core with yourself. So this whole good girl versus bad girl narrative just really gets on my nerve. The good girl gets chosen, the bad girl gets used. She's a side chick, and both of them get hurt because if he's messing with two different people, they both, getting their feelings hurt. And often, and then I'm just all over the place. So sorry, y'all. And then there was another story where this guy wrote in on the Angela Yee show. He had a whole relationship for 20 years, 30 years. He had grown kids. The kids probably went to school with each other and they were on separate sides of the town. A whole double life. Excuse me. A whole double life. So I get to looking at these labels, and how we get these labels and why were they put into, the whole realm of dating. And I thought about something. I was like, these labels weren't really about who we are or were. They were about what made people comfortable. Yet again, we're here at this spot where things are about making people comfortable and not about the reality of it all. And not about real life. So then we get into these misogynistic ways, right? Let's just talk about that for a second and how misogyny becomes a blueprint. And here's why I want to talk about that, because when they were saying about Meg the Stallion that, okay, so she's with this guy who is, I guess, from the exterior. They think, oh, he's clean cut, he's professional, he's a good guy. It's just so not like the type of guys that she deal with. She should be dealing with the bad guys. She should be dealing with those, the rappers. I don't want to say rappers are bad guys, but you know what I'm saying. There's a certain type that she's supposed to be dealing. Like the bad girl's supposed to be with the bad guy, but she's like, I just want to be loved, and I want to be loved the way I want to be loved. Much like we talked about with the whole Laverne Cox situation. It's about the experience and how you're treated. I want to be treated a certain kind of way. And so, yeah, he may not be like the dudes I've dated in the past, but as you grow in life and as you grow to get to know yourself and as you get to know what you want out of life, you have to switch things up. So then we have to unprogram ourselves because misogyny is a blueprint. So we weren't raised to love ourselves. We was raised to be palatable. That's what we were raised to do. The rules weren't written in patriarchy. Don't be too loud, too easy, too emotional, too strong, all those things. But you should be loud sometimes. You should definitely be easy sometimes. You should be too strong and emotional. You should be able to go through all those array of emotions and feelings and be okay because that makes up who you are as a person. I don't know about y'all, but I ain't ever met nobody who who was all of these other things and didn't have any of the others. I ain't met nobody who was strong and unemotional and real hard and real quiet and then didn't have aspects of being loud or strong or emotional or you get what I'm saying, all these things. And I believe that people show up as their representatives and we try to be these people that we aren't in order to meet someone. And then when you get in that situation, you find out that's not all that you want. You want a little bit of this dirt too. You want to get in the dirty water and you want to get in the clean water. And sometimes our parents pass that shit down too. There was one time, if we look back on grandmamas and all of this and how we say, oh, my grandmama and my grandparents were together for 50 years. And if they can do it, I can do it. But then you got to look like, do you really know the whole story, their whole story? Like, was that really a good situation? And if it was, great. So we can take points of how to communicate, how to talk to each other, how to weather the storm, how to be when you don't like them all that much, but you still love them. But how do you show up and be present and work through those situations? But then there's also the opposite of that where Nana or people was getting their ass beat and they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't go nowhere else. They ain't had no money. They ain't wasn't working no job. Like neither one of them can actually make it without the other because it was a partner system. And then at one point in time, let's just be real, women didn't really have no rights. Girl, they ain't had no bank accounts, honey. They couldn't get a bank account without their husband. They couldn't get a job without their husband. Couldn't buy a car without their husband. They couldn't do all these things. So a lot of times they stayed because they couldn't do anything else. So now we've got a situation where people have options. You can have your own. Each can win without the other, right? So you don't necessarily stay in shit as long. And it doesn't mean that we don't have the patience, the smarts, the aptitude, and all that. Sometimes it just means, no, we just not going to put up with the same bullshit that Meemaw and Peepaw, Meemaw and Peepaw went through. They felt like they didn't have any options, and so they stuck it out with each other. Okay, but we got options, and we're not going to do that. Okay, so that misogynistic blueprint that's been passed down, we don't see a lot of that right now. Women are empowered, and so are men are empowered to be the what's the right word? Because I'm trying not to say the other word because what's the word that I'm trying to say? They can be their authentic selves, right? You can be gutter butt a little bit if you want to be, and it not be held against you. You get what I'm saying? You can like the loud and the naughty and the hard and the difficult to deal with, because typically when someone's cheating, they're usually cheating with the opposite of what they have at home anyway. And usually when you look at the cheat and you look at both people, both of the people are so different that they actually create a complete circle. Like this 180 and this 180, and it creates a whole 360 because of the fact that they're so different that the person is getting the whole experience, right? They're getting a little gutter butt when they want to. They get the nice when they want the niceness, right? And they get a little greedy, want they ice cream, they cake and ice cream, and they want they cake and eat it too, is what they say. And then sometimes our parents pass that down because they were in a surviving system. It was about surviving, not necessarily really love. It wasn't the fairy tale. Some people will never really be in a thriving relationship because of the fact that they're looking for Disney. They're looking for the rom-coms. They're looking for those cute stories they put in the movies, and the timeline is 2 weeks. And in real life, like, if you really want to get that deep with somebody, it may take a few months. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're looking for that, and that's not sustainable, nor is it realistic. And when we gonna get that? It's not sustainable nor realistic. We were raised to love. We were raised to love a storyline, but nobody really talked about the reality and the complexities behind the other half of those people in those storylines. So then we deal with self-hatred disguised as a dating smart, because when we have those good girl versus bad girl, good guy versus bad guy, when you have those personas, then you begin to judge others, you judge yourself, we judge each other through lenses that were designed for us not to really win at all. Think about the legislations and stuff they're putting in place right now against certain people, places, and things. And what's crazy is some of the people that's voting against a class of people are people who actually cater to, privately, secretly love to indulge in and with these same people. Girl, I get a headache thinking about this shit sometimes. So people say one thing and do the other, is what I'm trying to say. And so then we can't be confident, because if you're confident, it's seen as dangerous. You have to be humble. Why do you have to be humble? Why can't you be proud of your accomplishments? Why can't you be boastful about those accomplishments? Why can't you be, loud about it? The struggle was real. The struggle was deep. You getting there, you becoming the person you are today, took a lot of things, but you can't celebrate those things because we have been taught that you can't do that. You gotta don't be too much, like don't be too braggadocious about it. And I'm, bitch, but wait a minute, I went through the trenches for this shit. Fuck you. I'm gonna brag about this shit. I am who I am, and I got here, and I'm doing it. So, in the dating world, a lot of people who are confident are seen as stuck with themselves, or narcissists, maybe. And there's a fine line. And some people who are open, honest, and truthful about the things that they're into intimately, then they're shamed. You know what I'm saying? If they own their truth, now it's like, but they like so-and-so, so-and-so. Well, okay. And you like so-and-so, so-and-so. They may not know that, but you like so-and-so, so-and-so. And why do you feel like you should shame them for something they like? Then what they eat don't make you shit. Like I done said that time and time again. So then people need to take these personal reflection moments where they can really think about and be open about who they are and what's truly acceptable. And I think what we learn in those moments, when we start really unpacking social norms and dating norms, that a lot of time it's really deeply rooted in control. People want you to feel that you're not supposed to be a certain kind of way. You're supposed to be the good girl. You're supposed to be the one that's devoted to one person and just being somewhat of a submissive slave to them, because they want to control you. When you're open and you're free about your decisions and you're open about, I don't really know if I want this, I want to experience all the things, then it's like it's a risk, it's danger. Like, no, they're out there. You can't trust that. No, actually, if someone like that chooses you, you really should be able to respect that a little bit because it was a conscious choice for them to choose you. Yes, they have options. We all have options. There is nobody out there who is dating in the world. They may feel like they don't have options. They may feel like people don't want them, but let's just be real, honey. There's somebody for everybody out there. And if you dating that person, then guess what? You're dating that person, and that person is obviously going to be attractive to the next. Not just you. They're going to be attractive to a lot of people. So once you realize that, I think you should be able to appreciate people for who they authentically are. Have this personal reflection, a moment where when I decided to open myself back up to love and dating after taking a 7-year stint from the one who lied about his relationship status and was married the whole goddamn time. When I decided to get back into the dating pool, I decided to get back in the dating pool authentically, and I decided to make sure that I accepted me and accepted others. And so when I date, whether they're someone who is hetero, bisexual or not, let's just say that, I understand that they're into things. And I like to have conversations around, well, what happens when you're interested, you're desiring A, B, C, or D. What happens with that? And it amazes me because they always give the response, oh no, I got it, that's not gonna be a problem, and blah 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 blah. Wait a minute, if it's something you like, that's just like saying you love steak but now you vegan. Okay, that may go for a while, it may go for a long time, I don't know. It's everybody's different, but 9 times out of 10, that's just a moment, and then you're gonna come back to beef. You're gonna come back, or you're gonna have moments where you're gonna have it. So, like, I think people have to be honest about who they are and what they're into, and have to quit judging people to say that if they're into this type of person, that that person is a bad person. No, you have to get to know that person for yourself. And if don't nobody understand that person but you, and that person treats you good, and you are happy and you are thriving, fuck what everybody think. Because, and I think that's what Meggan is doing right now. She will who she want to be, and he would who he want to be. And Meg the Stallion is Meg the Stallion. Who don't know who she is? Who don't know? I'm not gonna say who don't know who she is, because we don't know who she is as her fans, because we've not met her. But who don't know the image that that her brand displays? But that's not all who she is. Just like you are not all of one thing. So I believe that sometimes people make comments about things, and it's so funny because they'll judge people and the things that they do. But then when you take a deep dive into their life and you have an opportunity to reel the camera in and look at their life, and you see they have a whole bunch of fucked up shit there. Now they got so much to say about understanding and emotional intelligence. Girl, you just got smacked with reality. Oh. So I think that some of us haven't found love because we're walking around here in this moment, this state of delusion, looking for the lie. We've already lost years. We've lost softness. We've lost freedom in the name of being desirable. They said, wait to be chosen, but didn't teach us how to choose ourselves, right? We weren't. If someone told you were too much, no, baby, they just weren't enough. That just means that you're not destined for that particular person because they don't have the skill set, the wherewithal to handle you. You're not meant for them. They were taught to want less. So let them go find inferior Bob, inferior Jane, and let them do their own thing, because you are not a role. You are not a lesson. You're not a good girl. You're not a good boy. You're not a bad girl. You're not a bad boy. You are a whole person. And it's not your job to shrink yourself to be loved or liked by anybody else. It is your right to expand into your truth and unlearn the lies that you've been told and start writing your own rules to move forward. So I've said all this and I don't want to really go over, but here's what I want to know. What's one belief about love? Drop it in the comments. What's one belief about love or dating that you were taught that you now reject? I was taught that if someone was, what was I taught? Oh, I'm not gonna say I was taught. What did I tell myself? There are people out there who feel that if someone is constantly talking about how they feel and communicating their emotions, that it was a level of softness, and so they didn't like it. So then you get in a whole relationship where somebody wouldn't even date you because they don't know. You don't know how to communicate. You don't know how to express yourself. Or if you express yourself, you've been taught that that was wrong. You're doing too much. That's soft. Real people just move forward. Real men don't cry. Real men don't make complaints. Real men don't care about that. You're a person. This is not about these misogynistic ways and these concepts that we've put into each other's heads. It's not about that. You are a whole person. The way you feel is the way you feel. Find you somebody who is going to value your traits, who's looking for someone who's going to talk about the way they feel before they go out here acting on some dumb shit, who communicates well. But also know that if you are a complex person and you have a very intricate way of dealing with life, right? Some people will call it complicated. I would say just more unique and more intricate. Then you probably should know before you go out there dating that you have a certain way of moving. You need to make sure that person aligns with the way that you move. The puzzle pieces meet. If you're someone who needs to be given, compliments on a regular basis because it makes you feel loved, that makes you feel pretty, that reinforces who you are, you need to get with somebody who will compliment you a lot, who's going to open the door, who's going to call you on the way home. Hey, I'm on my way home. Do you need anything? Who's going to, hey, I'm cooking something to eat. Would you like something? Who's going to, I'm making plans, but I want to make sure we don't have anything planned. Like all those great things, right? Who, I want to see you tonight. I love being around you. I want to talk to you about all this stuff. And then you like, oh, they too close. They too clingy. They do too this, they do that. Really? Are they? So you'd rather be with somebody who like, oh, I'm busy. I just got a lot on my mind. But on his mind or on their mind is on their phone talking to somebody else. Like, not you. Why do you need that? And I like a little toxicity. Don't get me wrong, but my toxicity is different. And I'm not even going to say it's toxicity. I don't want nobody who just going to do everything that I say, bitch. Because what I say, I ain't God. I'm not a master. Like, I don't have any subjects. Like, girl, like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's the way that you say it. Speak up for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like that. I don't want nobody who's just a yes person. I only like that. And I'm not doing that. Okay, well, I don't like the fact that you're not doing it because it seems stupid. I appreciate you don't like the fact that I'm not doing that. But this is just what I am. And you got to respect that. That's a whole person. See, something else that comes along with that is they've made a decision. They're sticking to the decision. And you can't change their decision. And can't nobody else change the decision about the way they feel about you, too. You see the power in loving that individuality and loving the fact that they are making their own decisions and no one's pushing them to do anything else, because then nobody can push them away from you either. You can trust the way they feel because they're standing 10 toes in to how they feel and what they're doing. So you need to be careful when you think of somebody as a bad girl or a good girl. Like, what makes them a bad girl, good girl? Is it because they're emotionally open? They're physically fluid, right? They go for what they want. They want to feel and live in the moment. How is it making them a bad person? Why? Because you can't control them. How I know they ain't going to be out there with somebody else? Well, baby, listen, y'all got to get to know each other. And until they show you that's the type of person they are, you just gotta be careful, be safe, protect your heart, protect your space, but allow yourself to get to know them, give them an opportunity because you just never know. Sometimes we show up with this whole sleeve on, this whole persona on because we don't want to be hurt. Let me get you before you get me is the mentality. And that's kind of fucked up too, but that's also how we were conditioned and trained to be out here. So when you find somebody who really value, you don't know how to deal with that. You don't know how to take it. You don't know how to process that. If you a bad girl, promiscuous, I don't know your value, very open, very fluid, and then somebody treats you like the queen that you are, and then you like, I mean, but like, I don't really know. Like, people just usually say that I'm just this, that, and the other. And how I know if he really like me? Look, girl, work through your issues before you jump out here into this dating pool because I promise you that's gonna be exhausting as fuck. But we do need to unlearn that, and we need to quit looking at these little quick movies and applying that logic to our lives because it's not in real life. It don't move that quick, and it ain't that simple, and it is not that easy, and it's more complex than that. So this whole respectability and showing up with your pearls and all this, putting this on every last one of those people. There was some skeletons in their closet and they was being gutter but dirty but nasty, honey. Yes, God, they were. And I don't think it was nasty, but that's the thing. Yes, God, they were. So I'm like, okay, well, let them be them. Let them do them. Being a good girl ain't protecting nobody. You still got cheated on. Being a bad boy, bad girl ain't protecting. You still got cheated on. Like, oh, you cheated on somebody. Like, if you ain't shit, you ain't shit. Come up and say you ain't shit when you meet me. That way I know I'm dealing with somebody who ain't shit. And let me make that decision to be with that person who ain't shit. And then if I'm with that person who ain't shit, my family, friends, that's who I plan to be with Mr. and Mrs. Ain't shit. Okay? It is what it is. Ain't nothing you can say about it. At all. Share this episode with somebody who you think need it, who need to hear it. They need it. They spirit need it. They need to know. Share it with them. So we can unlearn the pick me program. You are not too much. You were just taught to want less and you should be able to want more. And it's okay to want more. And I also know if you get too picky, you may be alone by yourself for a very long time. And that's okay too. Because you ain't out here just going through shit for no damn reason. It is okay. Being alone and being single ain't ain't horrible. I mean, you ain't got nobody getting on your goddamn nerves. And being in a relationship ain't horrible either. Because people say, oh my God, I don't want to get married. What's wrong with marriage? Honey, if you want to get married, get married. Make sure you in a marriage where y'all respect each other, but it ain't like a prison sentence. Y'all kills me with that shit. I don't understand that. You are marrying the wrong person if that's the way it is. You are dedicating yourself to the wrong person, and that's a you problem. And you need to think about why you did that. Because I'm tired of that too. Oh my God, oh, I ain't trying to get married. Oh, they're going to take all I got. Get you a prenup, honey. Protect yourself. If they not trying to take everything you got, they don't have a problem getting a prenup. You can write that prenup in such a way where it just says, hey, listen, whatever we build together, we're coming to the agreement that right now we're gonna separate that. And we're gonna, if we ever go the other way, we're gonna make sure we split that equally. Do that while you in love and while you on the same page. Don't be stupid just because you in love. Don't make sure it's fair. Now, some people feel like they have to have a clause in there. The bitch, if you cheat and do some fucked up shit, I get everything and you're relinquishing your rights to all of it. Well, listen, that's a contract because people don't do what they supposed to do. They don't follow rules. They show up with these representatives and they be lying. So you got to do what you got to do. I'm somebody who believe in a real good prenup, girl. I don't care if I got $2.25, honey. I don't want you to get $1.15 of it, period. It's mine. Now, if we put $2.25 in there together, then baby, rightfully so, you got a right to it, but if you didn't, no. And if you feel some kind of way about it, I feel like you try to screw me, you trying to get over, so no. But you get mad about it. I feel like you don't trust me. No, I don't trust you when you get mad. 9 times out of 10, when people break up, they get mad. And no, they not going to be fair. They trying to hurt you. So quit shrinking yourself. If you somebody who shrink yourself to fall in love and get in a relationship, stop doing that shit, because they're not gonna like who you really are when you come out of your shell and they get to know you, and you can only play this role for so long. If you somebody who's a player, be a player. Let them know you're a player. Let that person choose to participate in your game. Okay. Now, this has been the Savon Experience Pillow Talk, honey, and I'm back. Now, I may not do 2 shows a week because, listen, that's a lot. That's a lot. I bit off a whole lot of it. I will give you 1 show a week, though. And I think I want to start doing some lives, but I don't know how I'm going to do that, so we'll see. Don't hold me to it. But thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for loving on me, and thank you for being around. Run the video up. I'm going to drop my little clips like I do, girls and guys and girls. And if you are a member, a Jiva, Diva, or Scholar of the Savon Experience, anytime I post something, I post it where you get it immediately. You don't even have to wait for it. Now, I ain't posting none in a minute, but you ain't got to wait for it. So come out there and subscribe, honey, on our YouTube page, honey, and become a member, honey, and join. Join us. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day, because I have other things to do. I love y'all, though. And we'll talk later. And if you also think you want me to talk about something, send an email to TheSavonExperience@gmail.com and let me know what you want to talk about. And I'll try to get to it in a timely fashion. I'm busy. Can't make no promises, but I'm going to try. Bye, y'all. Yeah.
Slide into the quiet space where the moonlight touches grace. I'm speaking
Thank you for sharing this moment with me. Remember, grace isn't just for others, it's for you too. Until next time, this has been the Savon Experience Pillow Talk Solo Edition. Be kind, be soft, be you.
let it flow. No mask, no noise, just my truth in the dark. Laid back whispers straight from the heart. Let the